Hello everyone, Turner Burner here with another video for you guys. I'm going to go over Kait's old class. It is now called Infiltrator and it can be played by any character. All of her cards, she doesn't have any new skill cards, but the bleed cards have changed slightly. So I'm going to go over I'm going to go over all of her skill cards in case you didn't see Operation 4 video, and I'm going to go over also the only way to play as this character now. And also her new passive ability. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the Infiltrator is says the tip of the spear. The Infiltrator stays close to the enemy and wreaks havoc with shotguns and stealth. Her ultimate ability, or Infiltrator's ultimate ability, become invisible to enemies, can execute nearby drones. So back in other operations, it was common to run chain and cloak batteries. That way, she can stay cloaked while she's executing drones, and she gets kills while being undetected. So that was very common in older operations. That's how I used to play, honestly. And her passive ability is new. So this is very, very important to understand as an Infiltrator player. Exiting Cloak by firing ballistic damage deals 10 times damage for that shot. So understanding how all these cards work. So the two bleed cards I want to go over in conjunction with this passive ability, right? So Laceration is the initial hit. So shotgun hits within 5 meters cause bleeding for 110% damage. So that's the initial bleeding. And then the blood resonance, bleeding enemies take 160% more shotgun damage. So if you are bleeding, we'll say a carrier, right? And then you cloak, and then you shoot the carrier again with a Nasher, preferably. It's going to take way more. That 160% is going to go to 1600%. So at least that's how I understand it, and that allows you to one shot big bosses like Carrier. I've seen a buddy of mine one shot a Swarmak. I've seen multiple people one shot a Swarmak. I haven't seen it on the Kestrel yet because of the 5 meter distance. That's probably a problem. The Flock I've seen bleed out pretty quickly. So if you use this correctly, if you use this on bosses, first you want to get them bleeding, and then next you want to shoot them again with a Nasher. So that's something I want to mention in conjunction with the passive ability. I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but the passive ability is huge for one-shotting Scions and Wardens and all these other types of enemies that are typically a problem and require a lot more ammo otherwise. So, but I'm going to get into all the skill cards here in a second. So, Enhanced Stem. Basically, the stem cards, they kind of have to work together, because the only way for her to get Enhanced Stem is if she's running Reaper, unless the map has Stem on it. Like what is it? The Hunters has Stem on it. The Venom Run has Stem in the beginning. So it just depends on how you play as a player. But long story short, she gets 60% damage resistance while she's stemmed. Very, very useful to last in Venom, last when she's getting shot, things of that nature. And same thing as the other video, I'm going to clip example gameplays. That way you can see how this character is played, at least by me. I don't want to say how it quote-unquote should be played, but how I am making adjustments to the changes in her skill cards, or slight changes in her skill cards. So again, Enhanced Stem, 60% resistant to damage while stem. Stem capacity, or stem batteries, allows her to get even more stem. So as you keep getting shotgun kills, as long as you're not taking too much damage and losing your stem, you will gain even more stem, which allows you to get more damage resistance while with damage resistance longer. So on my recent Venom Run solo, I was running Reaper, stem batteries, and Enhanced Stem. So anytime I would get low on health, as long as I was using a Nasher, I would be able to shoot something and get all my health back. Very, very effective. So that's stim batteries for you. So they kind of all work together, enhanced stim and stim batteries. Blood resonance, bleeding enemies take 160% more shotgun damage. Um, Basically, it just works as before. I don't think it is a different number than the last operation. So basically, laceration, blood resonance, they just work together to allow you to be more effective with the Nasher or Overkill. Reaper Reaper is actually an adjustment to her old card used to say executions would give you stem. So, but it never made a lot of sense, even though I worked with it. It didn't make sense because that's not who the character is. As she uses Nasher and Overkill, but she was forced to do knife executions to get stem. But now that she can use a Nasher, you can kind of play more naturally within the context of who the character actually is. Because the character's not really a Lonnie or, I don't know, a Cole or, even an Emil to a lesser degree where she's knifing to get kills. So the shotgun kill is more natural within the context of how she's playing. So I do like this change overall. I wasn't sure in the beginning because there's certain maps that make it tougher for her to get stem. But overall, I think it's a good change. Laceration stacks well with blood resonance because the laceration shotgun damage. Now, granted, right now it didn't say this before. I don't want to say it was like limitless distance, but you can basically before snipe from maybe 15 meters away, 20 meters away, and some maybe 15 meters away enemies with an overkill. And now you can't do that anymore. Maybe because the shotgun's not meant to be used as a sniper rifle. So a shotgun damage within 5 meters is how they're doing it now. And honestly, it feels less than that. Basically, I wouldn't even focus on the fact that it says 5 meters. If an enemy's not right in front of you, it's not going to be it's not going to cause any bleed damage. That's kind of how I do it. The 5 meters thing, it feels like it's less. It feels like closer to 5 feet, if I'm being totally honest. I don't want to say it's like a mistake with the card because I think it's semantics really. But overall, you got to be really, really close to actually, do any bleed damage to these enemies. So just keep that in mind for when you use the Overkill Nasher. And this changes the dynamic of how she is played completely. Like in Horde or Escape, she has to basically run around in danger. But as long as you have enhanced stim on, she can keep getting kills and keep getting her stim back over and over again. So her kills allows her to stay alive. It's tricky when you have to reload or whatever, but as long as you're running around, you'll take 60% less damage. So I still find it really, really good. The only tricky part is the Salvo Scion, because the Salvo Scion in one shot gets rid of the stem, and then the next shot downs you. It's just a powerful enemy. Chain is still a good card if you can pull it off. I've seen it still used on the end because so basically it reads executing enemies while cloak ability is active extends the duration of the ability for 5 seconds. This used to say 2.6 seconds. In Operation 4, the only way to extend your cloak ability was to get meat shields. If you did B button executions, it did not extend the cloak. But now if you do meat shield executions, it doesn't work at all. You have to do B button executions. And I don't like that change because it's inefficient. In a lot of these, if it's Horde, maybe it's okay. Maybe you can get rid of stim batteries for chain. But in Escape, there's the Venom's too fast. I really don't have time to do a long execution before getting to the next enemy. I need to do things fast and move on to the next section. So I feel like you can pull it off in Horde possibly, but Escape, it's I don't think it's usable anymore in general. You can use it, but I think she has better cards now. Epic score boost speaks for itself. You get increased time in Horde, and you can increase your time in Escape. Or sorry, you can increase your team score in Horde and increase your time bonus in Escape. Healing Jolt is something I do want to try eventually, but I've been getting more used to the stem related stack. But basically, Healing Jolt, if you're running around, so basically this class has become more of a scout class where she's running around, getting kills now. So or sorry, I keep saying she, Infiltrator, when she is picking up energy after the people she just killed, she will heal completely. So that's very, very helpful, um, especially if there's a situation where it's a later wave and the enemies aren't dying as quickly. And then like maybe a teammate behind a barrier, let's say it's a JD, has bled down I don't know, an elite grenadier, and then Kait can kill, or Kait can take the energy of something that has been killed. That way, so basically, Healing Joel is what I'm trying to get at. Is a good card you can use if you want to for Horde, like because you know that if you're getting damage, you can just go near an energy and get all of it. At level 6, you can get 100% of your health back. So that's something I'm looking forward to in the future. I just need 7 more cards. Cloak batteries is something I honestly don't use anymore. But if you are a type of player that does chain and cloak batteries, you can meat shield, or sorry, not meat shield, but execute entire sections fairly quickly. So if you can make it work, that's fine. But I feel like she needs the stem now in general because of the fact that because she has to be so close to enemies, she needs the damage resistance. So yeah, but if you can make this combination work, that's up to you. Custom Nasher, I don't even use anymore, but 30% increased damage and active effects. I feel like the Laceration and the Blood Resonance works well enough where she's going to bleed anything out anyway. So Custom Nasher is kind of overkill, but you can still use it. Like if you're running Custom Nasher and you're probably going to 2-shot a Scion with a Nasher out. So I mean, it's up to you depending on how you play. But again, I'm talking about all these cards, but I feel like at this point, there's really only I feel like she only has one legitimate stack, across all maps at this point because of the whole change in her 5-meter thing. Overkill ammo capacity, 35% increased overkill capacity. I believe it goes from 20 to 27. So if you get an overkill right off the bat, like on the Gatekeepers, that could be useful. That way you have more ammo, at your disposal because you get overkill and sniper off the bat, so that could be helpful. Driven is honestly, I don't know why anyone would use this. All damage from explosive is reduced by 32%. It's not going to save you from a popper. It's not going to save you from a salvo scion. It's not going to save you from a devastator. I believe this is the devastators that carry the salvos. And it's not going to save you from a sentinel. So don't use this card because she has other cards at her disposal. I can't think of a reason why you would use this card. But yeah, I've tried it myself thinking it'll save me from like a popper. It doesn't even save you from an early wave popper. So don't use it. Use something else. Long reach, power pickup distance increased by 600%. I could see why this is useful in conjunction with Healing Jolt. Maybe not on Master, because you can get the energy at a longer distance. Or sorry, with the energy that's further away from you, you can grab, so you can get more healing. But I don't see this working on Master. But yeah, you can try it if you long reach in conjunction with Healing Jolt. Maybe I think it'd be good on probably Insane if you had maybe health and lethal off. But I wouldn't do it on Master. Overkill stock is actually completely useless now because of the fact that you can only do 5 meters, and you're just going to be spamming it anyway. It doesn't matter if there's recoil or not at a 5-meter distance. So this card is, pointless at this point. Score boost, team score increased by 18%. Same thing as the epic score boost. If you want to increase your time in escape, or if you want to increase your team score in horde, this is a card you want to have equipped. Shotgun speed loaders. I don't use it again. I'm just going to tell you straightforward. I don't use all the cards. Some of them don't, because of the changes. Some of them just don't matter anymore. But I'll discuss this one as well. 225% larger active reload window with shotguns. So if you have, honestly, same thing as the other video I discussed this. I have a propensity of missing my active reload like 4 or 5 shots in a row. So, maybe this could help me, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't use this card necessarily. I just need to improve my timing, but which I'd recommend the same for you guys. If you just improve that timing, maybe just, count, do some different, counts in your head to active better, you won't need a card like this, but in theory, it's supposed to make activating your shots easier. So that's pretty much it for Kait. But what I'm going to go over is, and I'm going to clip a couple of different example gameplays for this class. So that way you guys can utilize this class to your advantage. Some people will say she's nerfed. It depends on how you look at it. She's only nerfed in the context of the fact that there was 2 ways to play Kait before, and now there's only 1 way to play Kait before, in my estimation. So there was the stem build where you could go what I have right now: enhanced stem, Reaper, stem batteries, blood resonance, and laceration. And then the other build, the other build was, once I get there, instead of the 3 stems, you can go blood resonance, laceration, chain, cloak batteries, and then the 5th card could be either overkill ammo or custom Nash would be the other build. But because of the fact that you have to be so close to enemies now, there's only really 1 way to play at this point, so I'm going to go over it again. So you want to run the 2 bleeds, and this goes for basically horde, escape. You just want to get used to it. You want to get used to running around, getting kills, and then just rinsing and repeating. It is only tough on later wave horde, but I have it, and I'll have to edit that video. But I have a gameplay where I was able to run around for 12 waves. But the only way I was able to do that was because I perked up from wave 1. But I, told my teammates and things of that nature that hey, I'm gonna try this. That way I can get all my health up, all my regeneration for health and shotgun damage and movement speed all up. That way I can be effective running around for 12 waves. And I actually had a really good game on Forge doing that, just running around getting kills. So ultimately, that's how I was able to adjust to the late wave issue with Horde, where the enemies get higher health and deal more damage. But her example stem build I would give you would be, or the example build that you basically just you're forced to use in a way, is laceration, blood resonance, stem batteries, Reaper, and enhanced stem. The enhanced stem stem batteries is huge because she gets 60% resistance to damage. There aren't even a lot of characters that even get that much resistance to damage. Cole's one of them. Lizzie's one of them. And Bait Armor builds up to 60% for Clayton. And I know I'm going by their original, class lock thing, but you know what I mean. But so the enhanced stem is a card you don't want to go without when you're dealing with, an elite drone in your face. The only way to survive that encounter is to get the shotgun kill, then get the 60% resistance to damage, and also the stem batteries allows you to have more stem. That way you can survive longer. And in Horde, once you have movement speed perked up, and again I'll edit that video. Once you have movement speed perked up, that can be very, very helpful for what is it? for taking less damage while running. Almost, it's almost like a damage. It's almost like a short range deflection, if you will, or Cole's damage dash. That's what it kind of feels like when you're actually playing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Infiltrator. If you want to one-shot bosses, because this is how it was explained to me, because Overkill shoots 2 shots, it only gives you credit for the first initial shot. As far as ballistic weapon damage, deals 10 times damage based off of her passive. So what you want to do is get a carrier or something like that bleeding, as an example, and then active your Nasher, and then once it's bleeding, then you'll cloak, and then you'll shoot the carrier again. And if it doesn't, it can either completely kill him or bleed him out slowly. It just depends on the level of your cards and how and if you're playing like Horde or Escape or what wave it's on relative to the health of the enemy. But remember, so it's going to be bleeding first, and then and it actually doesn't even have to be you. It could be another character bleeding from a distance because the card reads as bleeding enemies. It doesn't have to be bleeding enemies done by the Infiltrator. So also keep that in mind as well. But I could go on and on about this class, but the gist of it is you want to have 2 bleeds and 3 stems. And anytime you see an Infiltrator gameplay, that is definitely what I'm running, because I need all the stem cards, because I need all the health, and I need the 2 bleeds so I can kill things as fast as possible. So that's it for Infiltrator, guys, and stay tuned for our next video. I think I'm going to go over Nomad, because that's probably my favorite class out of all of them. So, but yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and you guys have a good one. Peace.